Hello and welcome back to the Pale Beyond. We're not really there yet. We're not really in the Pale Beyond yet, but at least we're playing the game called the Pale Beyond, and we're on our way on the Temperance to the Pale Beyond. Anyway, we have gone through the most of the early beginnings and like setting up. We still have a few things before we really get into the game and start doing the choices, so to speak. But we still have a little bit where we sort of still in the tutorial phase still. But we are going to, I think, just get right into it. So the two Johns, we spot a large man with a youthful gait, carrying a heavy crate over his shoulder with relative ease. "Oh, you're Officer Shaw." He gives a bright, warming smile. "Two Johns. That's what they call me. I'm sure you'll get your nickname later." Two Johns attempts to offer a handshake, but loses control of the crate. He struggles before firmly holding it in place with both hands. Maybe later. Work awaits. Forecastle door appears to be locked. You can hear the kennel master preparing the room inside. Let's descend below deck. Descend to the middeck. I can approach the accordionist or the cook. Let's approach the cook. You find yourself almost knocking over a man carrying a heavy pot. Careful, careful. You almost got drenched in broth. Apologies, I'm in a rush on request for a hunt. You're the ship's cook, are you not? You should be more careful. I'm the one bumping into him, so... Anyway, you're the ship's cook, are you not? Indeed I am. And I got a full plate on my hands. Pardon the pun. You hear a roar from the other side of the door. "Oi! What's holding you up?" The cook shakes his head with a smile and chuckles slightly to himself. He grabs the large pot, preparing to make his way to the hungry crew before turning his head to you. "If you don't mind, could you carry that tray of biscuits behind me?" "Sorry, but I'm in a rush. Do I look like a cook? Do it yourself. Now carry the tray." Grab the plate and follow the cook out the door to the table where the crew are waiting with bated breath. Upon the cook's arrival, the sailors, not soldiers, sailors let out a rowdy cheer. The ship's cook placing the broth upon the table. "Trust me, fellas, this one is worth the wait." The cook speaks with a tone of pride as he ladles the broth into the bowls of the crew. "Oi, one at a time, you animals. Odd, you're awfully handsy for only one arm." Piss off, Junior. Got some bread here too? Drop it fast before Tucker beats you to it. The crew laugh and are merry as Junior guides you back through the kitchen. "You're Junior? You seem popular. You weren't properly introduced." You seem popular. Popular. Well, you know what they say about the hand that feeds. Besides, half the crew I've known for years. You don't spend that much time on a ship with folk without learning all about them. You're junior, we weren't properly introduced. Well, Hunt wished to see you as soon as possible. Well, we weren't properly introduced. Robin Shaw, right? Been keeping track of all the new crew. You're in Stokes, but nobody calls me that. You'll hear them all call me Junior. You should do the same. No idea why Hunt picked someone he's never worked with as first mate. But you seem the helpful sort. Glad to have you aboard. Well, Hunt wished to see you as soon as possible. Ah, yes. Good old Hunt. Never a rest on this ship, let me tell you. Especially when Hunt takes a liking to you. So, if I remember correctly... Yeah, that is it for now, so call the crew for dinner. The crew have their meal. Passes in relative silence. The crew return to the posts. The hammocks are unfurled in preparation for the evening. Twilight falls. The dinner table. Over dinner, you overhear the newly picked up stowaway speaking with a one-armed man. But you're lucky Hunt didn't throw you overboard. Half a mind to do that myself. Come on, Dad. I'm here to help. Better know that involves work. Don't expect special treatment. I won't. You're an impossible child, Timmy. Mr. Gloss. You spot one of the Templeton's science team pacing around the middeck, searching through some luggage that has been pulled from a cabin. Let me look in the light. Where was it now? He notices you. Ah, Officer Shaw, correct? Dwight Glossley. Apologies. I seem to have misplaced something while settling in the cabin. Bottle of wine, actually. Can't be hard to miss. It will turn up eventually. You best not be drinking on the job. Perhaps one of the sailors took it. Can't be hard to miss it. Will turn up eventually. I would hope so. My wife and I brought a bottle to celebrate with. To be saved for the journey back, of course. Well, if you find it, please let me know. Right. We have my cabin. Ocean. As you look with the railing out to the ocean, a wisp of smoke flies past your face. You turn to examine and spot a sailor with a pipe in his mouth and a sheet of paper in his hand, overlooking the stirring waters. ... Looking at something. Who are you? Tashi. After introducing himself, Tashi falls silent and begins to read the letter. Trying to draw conversation from him may be similar to extracting teeth. Painful. Yes. But yeah, so every time you talk to someone, you unlock, like, you discover who they are. Which is important if you want to be able to, like, designate them to do something. So, speak with everyone, and the reason why I didn't speak to Templeton before doing that event there was because I know that speaking to Templeton is going to mean that I miss out on everything else. Yeah, exactly. I can't really do much more, so let's talk to him. You spot Templeton looking out into the sunset. As you approach, he turns to you and nods. Ah, Officer Shaw. It will be some time before we can see a sunset. Sunset such as this again. The light distribution towards the southern pole is quite a change. Sentimental. I noticed you went to dinner with the others. Before we started on the wrong foot. Yeah. A misunderstanding. Let us place it behind us, officer. Templeton keeps his focus on the reflection of the setting sun over the stirring waters of the ocean. There is great expectation upon us, officer. From who? Who is this benefactor of ours? Are you feeling the pressure, Miss Templeton? Or do you think Captain Hunt is up to the task? From who? Who is this benefactor of ours? That is not for you to know. Not yet. Templeton looks down, catching his reflection in the ocean surface. He looks back up at the sunset. Quite a sight, but I wouldn't linger upon it too long. We should retire for the evening. It's important the first officer be well rested. So yeah, once you don't have anything else to do or can't do anything more each week, you hold E or whatever button for the controller scheme you're using, and you pass that week. And we're still in tutorial because, yeah, tutorial territory, so to speak. And yeah, as you can see, by doing certain things, it's going to take from these. And depending on what we do, it's going to take different amount. I really dislike how these are so difficult to get hold of sometimes. I think it might, yeah, I think it might be easy to just use the keyboard. And I think that has to do with the fact that it's programmed with controller support from the beginning, which sometimes can make mouse control a bit awkward. So I think that's the reason why it sometimes is hard to use the mouse to... Yeah. It's a bit awkward, but as you can see, if we would do 0, we wouldn't give them any food rations or any or spend any fuel. It would eat into the morale, or decorum as it's called, but it would save on food and fuel. But if they don't eat anything, or it's too cold, it might either if you don't eat enough, it will give you malnutrition. You will become malnourished, and if you don't heat up enough, they will become freezing, which then can become scurvy or frostbite affliction, which may, if you don't fix it will become bad enough that it the next time you pass a week, they die. So how much you spend on fuel and not, and how much you spend on food and not is important. I wonder if I should do this. Saving as much as possible in the beginning? The decorum in the beginning is not unimportant, but not as important, and it's easier to gain in the beginning than it is to lose. Me speaking from the small amount of experience I have with the game. Yeah, you know what? Let's do this. Let's confirm this. And here is what happens during that week. So the ship makes its last port at Orca Island. Cordell sledding dogs are picked up. The scouting crew and Kurt Darling are picked up. Days are getting brighter as you move further south. Yeah, so we're going to the Antarctic. We're not going to the Arctic. If I have my north and south correct there. Yeah, I think I do. Anyway. Two weeks, or second week, on the Temperance. There's a rap on your cabin door. Come in, who goes there? Wait. Oh, come in. The door swings open to reveal Kurt Darling, all but filling its frame, grinning ear to ear. There you are, Officer Shaw. The ship's navigator is a difficult man to miss. Stature and reputation precede him. Adorned with a slew of apparatus, this seemingly one-man expedition would be known to anyone following the heyday of exploration and the merchandising that followed. I have no time for celebrities. It's an honor. Oh, it's an honor. Really, a wealth of invaluable experience in such hostile environments. I wonder he has not been swept up to some other post. Hiding away from the rest of us, are you? Are you always this early to rise? Do you need something of me, Kurt? Or no, I'm simply busy. Oh, do you need something of me? I'm not the sort to demand favors, Officer Shaw. Apologies for not stopping by sooner, Shaw. Took a while to set up my team, and a great deal of the crew was quite eager to meet me. Not often they work with a film star, is it? That's right, you're something of a celebrity, aren't you? Is that a brag? No. Well, it's not often they work with a film star, is it? Certainly. It's completely understandable on their part. Aren't many who haven't seen my films, particularly in this line of work. More than one fellow on this ship said my work inspired them to explore the world. Quite your honor, is it not? Ugh, oh, sorry. I'm certain you receive that praise often. This crew don't seem the film-going type. Is there a point to any of this grandstanding? Certain you receive that praise often. Not as often as you would think. I suppose I did get distracted, didn't I? Anyway, I was hoping you would join me up deck. Of course, but why? We have finally entered the pack. So do you want to see it for yourself? I'll be right behind you, Kurt. Kurt turns to walk away before turning back. Oh. Oh, and enjoy your morning. It's a good day, sure. Ah. He leaves. Oh, I'm a bit squeaky. Anyway. Oh, Miss Glass. You note one of the science team returning to the room. Ah, Miss Glass. Did you have a good rest? She nods to you. Ah, hello. I did not expect many to be up this early. Harriet Glossley. I believe I met your husband. Yeah, I believe I met your husband. Ah, yes. Dwight made mention of your encounter. He's still fast asleep. Still, he's adjusted to the ship well. I believe a walk around the ship would help acclimate myself to the waves. Perhaps it will take some more time. With that, Miss Glass makes her way back to her cabin. The science team aren't used to the sea, or the sailor folk. Quite a culture clash, isn't it? Well, I'm sure they'll grow used to them over time. Doctor's office. The door to the doctor's office remains locked. Seems the good doctor isn't in. Or perhaps enjoying his sleep. You are yet to come across the ship's doctor, even after all this time. Descend. Hammocks. Many of the crew are still fast asleep laying in hammocks. Let's not disturb them, sure? You don't want to find yourself dealing with an abruptly woken sailor. Just head up deck. Let us head up deck. The sound of snoring are rather obnoxious. The helm. At the stern, you notice an older sailor at the helm. The old man takes in a deep breath in the cold air before letting out a satisfied exhale. Morning. And a good morning to you. He eyes you up. Officer Shaw, right? Lefty. Call me that on account of... well, that should be obvious. He chuckles. Don't worry about the bad sight. This is all feel. Just keeping her steady. He examines you. Surprised Hunt picked from outside for his first mate. I'm surprised as well. He seems the insular type. I assure you I'm more than qualified for the role. Would you prefer the role? You seem to have the experience. No, I'm surprised as well. He seems the insular type. He is. It must be something special for Hunt to look outside the ranks. Hunt doesn't have much fondness for the military, but at least means you got the work ethic. Mornings like these are about the only peace I get from the younger lot. You should take these moments when you can. Lefty returned his attention to the helm. As you get older, I suppose we learn to value the quiet moments, eh? Let us hope we're just as diligent when we're old and grey. Myself before you, of course. Join Kurt at the bow. You join Kurt at the bow of the ship. You both feel the Temperance break the flows below you. Gripping the railing, he draws an enormous breath. The footing beneath rises as the ship mounts an impeding ice flow. There is a moment's hesitation before a profound crack relieves the ship, cascading across the ice. He exhales. See? Nothing else like it. You weren't wrong. I assumed you'd seen everything. It's just ice, Kurt. Don't get too excited. You weren't wrong. It's something, all right. Look at the ice. So, 2 cracks at the same time. All caused by us? Did you just want to show me the ice? For now, though, I need a navigator, not a poet. All caused by us? By the laws of nature, this place once stood. And yet, here we are. Traversing in harmony. How fantastic is that? How far are we from land? We're about a week's sail from the last known location of the old Viscount. Assuming she isn't exactly where they left her. We can't take smooth sailing for granted. Same goes for this daylight. It won't remain this bright for so long once winter encroaches. Beautiful as the ice is, on this course it's going to get thicker. Looks out across the white. We won't be so confident when the leads dry up and we're stuck here till the next cycle. We need to change course. Avoid the pack. Have you informed Captain Hunt? He won't listen to me. Thinks I've been dulled by retirement. I've probably seen more ice than he has whiskey. Not my decision. We have enough supplies if it comes to that. I'll hear no more of this. Not my decision. Yes, but you have the captain's ear. Have you ever experienced a long night winter? It's not pleasant, to say the least. If it comes to that, we'll adapt. There's a chain of command. This isn't one of your adventure serials, Kurt. Can't say that I have. No, if it comes to that, we will adapt. Ah, I can see why he hired you. You should understand, Rowan. We're only as good as the unhappiest man. Cheer up then. That's first mate. I'll do what I can. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. Kurt nods and turns back to look across the ice. Let's see. Have I gone through? Yeah. I have gone through everything, so Captain's cabin. Take requests. Ah, sure. Ready for another day of work? Indeed I am, Captain. Hopefully it's lighter than usual. Did you hear Kurt's advice? You want us to switch course. Hey, he had a few words to share. He may have been an expert in his time, but these days Kurt is one with more money than sense. Anyway, back to work. I was hoping you'd help me work through a few more requests from the crew. You may have noticed the line pooling up outside. Everyone wants something, it seems. Call them in as you please. Yeah, and once I have gone through this, I think it's a perfect time to round off the episode. Anyway, Hammond, what do you have to say? A short, sour-faced man in engineering clothing approaches. Are you acting daft, Hunt? Not with intention. Not bloody surprised you didn't notice. Sure, this is our chief engineer, Clive Hammond. An opinionated one. What is it, Hammond? We've hit the ice and you haven't assigned any extra men down on the boiler. You have your engineering team. And we only got 6 arms between us. We need more manpower maintaining this, sailors. Many of the crew have their own tasks they're busy with. I know I've already assigned Smurf on the matter. The captain turns to you. How many do you think is fair? 1, 3, more. Open the crew manifest and choose how many sailors you wish to assign. Yeah, so this is basically teaching us how to do these. So, And here you can see if it says 1 to 4, you can pick anything, like anything between 1 and 4. The 4 is the max, 1 is the least. And in some cases, you're required to have a specific amount of people assigned. Yeah, sometimes it's like you just need 1. Sometimes you have to have 2. Sometimes you even have to have 3. And I think there is something that might even need 4. But I think in this case, we shall just assign... Let's assign 2. You can take Corwood and Joe. We'll have to do with 2, I'm afraid. Engineer holds his tongue. Fine. But you can tell me how right I was when I whipped Bird under ice. He leaves. A good spirit, that one, beneath the oil and the temper. You won't be seeing much of him, though. Prefers to burrow himself into the boiler room. Kasha. Captain. Sure. Thought occurred to me the other day while looking through the crew manifest, and... well, it might be too late for this now that we've already entered the ice. Out with it. I thought it would be good to have individual photos of the full crew. For your report? Not only my report, it would be good reference for the manifest. Put faces to the names. Much of this crew have served me for years. Some decades. I have little problem putting faces to the names. Your thoughts, Shaw? Seems a good idea. If nothing else, it would make for a good souvenir. A waste of time. We should be bracing ourselves for the eyes, not posing for pictures. It's a bit late, but it's now or never. May as well get it over with. No, it seems like a good idea. Sentimental of this expedition, are you? Some proper photograph will have some historical weight to it. Well, Belford, I see no problem there. I will arrange for the pictures to be taken before the crew have their dinner. Thank you, Captain. Sure. Thank you, Captain. And sure. In the meantime, I'll attempt to get as many individual crew photos as I can. You're still welcome to help on that matter, Officer Shaw. She departs satisfied. And as you could see, we actually got 6 decorum. So, yeah. Corwin enters the office. Hunt, you asked for a report on how the stowaway was doing. Hey, I wanted to see if the young boy has been settling in well. He has indeed. It means another mouth to feed, but the boy works hard and doesn't ask much. He has his dad to guide him as well. I'm sure the boy's father is ecstatic. Worried sick, but happy, eh? Well, what do you know, Shaw? Perhaps we were right to keep the boy aboard. And we got 14 decorum, meaning we're back up to 100 again. She leaves. Finish requests. Good to have all that settled then. Perhaps we shouldn't rule out old Kurt so easily. If the man thinks there could be an alternate path through the ice, he's free to search for it. Sure, meet with him when you have time. Changing course or not, we will want one of his scouts set up in the crow's nest. Take care of that, and then you will be done for the day. And that is what's going to be done for this episode. Let's go out here. And that is, well, that's it for this episode. We still haven't really hit we're still sort of in tutorial territory still, but we're slowly but surely moving to the point where we're not really in tutorial. Now we're sort of, practically speaking, out of tutorial territory, but as soon as we encounter something new, we are going to get an introduction of how it works. So it's a bit fuzzy on where the tutorial begins and ends, because as soon as you come across something new, the game is going to sort of give you a tutorial, an introduction to how it works. But we're more or less out of it. There are some things that we still haven't done. For example, how do we get more fuel from, we have 75 of 100, but how do we increase that? We still haven't done that, so we're technically speaking not really out of the tutorial just yet. But we are going to have to see if we can get as much stuff done as possible in the next episode. There's a lot of reading, but hopefully you enjoy. If you do enjoy watching this and following along, consider liking the video, and maybe even subscribing to the channel. And if you have any questions or want to say something, you leave a comment. That would be super awesome. Nice if you did, but the choice is yours. So I will now choose to end this episode so I can start the next one. So with that, thanks for watching. Goodbye, and I hope I'll see you in the next one.